Thanks, guys. Who is the #1 according to JD Power and Associates in sales and service for cars in the United States? Well, it's Buick, and they have a brand new Enclave. Well, guess what we're driving, Ryan?
It's a Buick.
It's a Buick, and this is the new Avenir trim level of the new Enclave. The Enclave, the first three-row, the first three-row full-size SUV in America about 10 years ago, and really started a trend. So, have you ever been in a Enclave before?
No, I haven't, but I know a couple people that own one, and they're very happy with it. Yeah. So I think that they're going to be pretty sad, though, that they didn't get this Avenir level. It's pretty luxurious in here.
Those people that buy Buick Enclaves, very loyal. They tend to stick in their cars. It was a problem getting them to go into anything else. So Buick had to come up with a new Enclave, and hopefully people will be buying it who have an existing Enclave. So what's the Buick brand about? Do you know what the Buick brand's about?
I believe I could take a stab at it. Okay. I think it's just below luxury. Am I right?
It's affordable luxury.
Okay.
It's what we call premier brands, where you're talking about competition being Lincoln, Acura, Infiniti, Lexus, and somewhat Audi. No, Lexus is kind of the next step up, so you usually put Audi, Mercedes, BMW, and Lexus in one group. So it's the affordable luxury. It's those people that maybe are making their first step out of a family car into a luxury car, and this is one of the brands that they would go into. People thinking Buick is a very big boat-like car full of these giant sedans in their lineup, but not true at all. In fact, the oldest car in the Buick lineup is the Cascada, which is their convertible. The Cascada happened about 2 years ago, and everything between 2 years ago and now has been completely refreshed in the Buick lineup. They have 77% sales in their SUV market. They're going to be up 1% in their overall sales this year. Big in America, huge in Asia. This is a car company that's making a big turnaround. Now, there's some interesting things about this car. We actually asked Stuart Fowle from the PR group at Buick why they are changing the way people think about Buick with their sedans, but 77% of people are buying their SUVs.
The cars that keep the brand growing year over year are the SUVs. The Encore actually just had its best month ever, and it's on its way to its best year ever yet again. So that the Encore just has no limits to how well it'll sell. This Enclave is going to be great for us. The Envision is filling the hole in between those really well, keeping people loyal to the Buick brand. But sedans are hugely important, and it's not just a sales play. Sedans are still very large in terms of the overall customer size of those segments, but they also play this extra role, especially the Cascada, for example, the Regal Tour X that we'll have coming out this year. These are cars that people see and say, that's not the Buick that I know, that's something entirely different, and I'm interested in that, and I want to go check it out. So even if they see a beautiful LaCrosse, come in and buy an Enclave because that's what fits their lives better. Having this broad lineup, now up to 7 different vehicles, is huge for us.
So Buick also is the second largest brand for GM globally. It's their #2, and that's because they have a very specific audience and a very specific DNA. The Buick DNA is about comfortable rides and also quiet rides. In fact, the secret that is somewhat not a secret anymore is that when Buick wanted to revolutionize their brand in 2005, they went after Lexus, thinking that Lexus were this quiet, luxurious ride, and Buick wanted to do the same thing, and they've really succeeded with that, especially with the quiet tuning, the system inside the car that has 2 microphones, one for the driver and one in the other parts of the car, that listen to the background noise and tune it out. That was the original quiet tuning. Now it involves an awful lot of wind tunnel work to get down wind noise. It involves padding, material changes inside the car. And for this latest evolution of the Buick Enclave, they've actually managed to change the weight of the car despite having all of this quiet tuning inboard, and they have changed it by 300 pounds-ish. And there's a feature in the second row called Smart Slide, and even a dummy like me can get in the back of the car. The other thing about the rear seats is the second row is the largest space in the industry, and the third row is extremely spacious. And Greg from Motor Week sat in the third row with me as we went to dinner last night, and he is 6'1" tall, and Greg had no problem. He didn't have to sit cross-legged in the back because he actually fit in the third row. But in the second row, you could probably fit two of me because there's so much space. Now you'll also notice about the back seat that the engineers at Buick made the back door much bigger. Even though it's lighter than the last generation, it's bigger, which allows better ingress and egress, especially with that second row sliding seat. Now Buick are #1 in sales and service according to J.D. Power and Associates. That's right, #1, not #2 or 3, but they made it to #1. That means that those people that buy Buicks are extremely excited about the aftermarket sales and customer service that they get. That means when they go back into the dealership, they're happy with their servicing, and it means during the sales process, they voted Buick as #1. Under the hood, there is a 3.6 V6 engine. We've seen this engine used before. It has a different tuning structure than the ones in the Chevy Traverse. This one is tuned differently for better response to the vehicle. Just over 300 horsepower is output by this, perfectly adequate. Put my foot down, like that. Woo! It certainly kills it. Of course, this Buick Enclave actually has OnStar 4G LTE Wi-Fi in the vehicle. People love this because for $20 a month, you can actually get unlimited data, which is great if you're taking kids. They don't say that the Buick Enclave is a me vehicle, it's a we vehicle. It's made for the whole family, and that's demonstrated with that OnStar Wi-Fi system. Now, I've been using that all day, and even when my phone lost signal, I actually still had the 4G LTE and was able to send text messages and do Facebook and those type of things when I was sitting in the back seat earlier.
On the interior, we have Apple CarPlay and Android Auto, along with this very nice and bright touch screen.
Now, we also checked out the new rear view mirror, which has the option of using a camera instead of a mirror. With a rear camera mirror, now you can see all this. It's 300% wider than a regular mirror. The Avenir has some very unique exterior features, those 20-inch wheels, the unique up-front grille. At the same time, on the interior, it has this new chestnut leather, which the designers put together to make the inside of the car stand out distinctively from any other Buick Enclave that you happen to buy. So the starting price of this Buick Enclave is around $41,000 for a two-wheel drive base version. If you want to go up to the Avenir fully loaded, you're talking about $56,000. And the MKX, which is one of its direct competitors, starts around $38,000. So you should have that in mind when you head to the dealership. Now, this car is arriving in dealerships right now. If you're looking for a premium, affordable luxury, full-size 3-row SUV, this definitely should be on your shopping list. For more, go to ourautoexpert.com, testmiles.com, and please click the subscribe button down the bottom. Otherwise, Ryan is not going to have pants next week.
Nobody wants that.